Elliot Granger had lived in Cold Hollow, Vermont, for only 5 months when the ghost first appeared. A newly divorced professor of folklore from Michigan. Peter. He had bought the old red farmhouse with its sagging porch and black-branched trees, thinking it would be a good place to vanish for a while. His ex-wife, Rachel, said he needed solitude to unstick himself from the dead things in his life. She hadn't known how literal her advice would become. Cold Hollow was the kind of place that didn't make the map unless you zoomed in twice. The town was nestled in the shadow of green mountains, where mist poured like water through the valleys, and snow came early. The farmhouse had stood since 1831. Locals called it Miller House, and none of them could meet Elliot's eyes when he mentioned he had moved in there. "It's real quiet up there," the hardware store clerk had said too quickly. "Hope you like the dark," muttered someone else at the gas station. Elliot, who had once taught classes on Appalachian death rituals and had written his thesis on New England ghost lore, smiled at their vague warnings. He thought, if only they knew how much I wanted to see a ghost. He had no idea that the one that found him had been waiting over a century to be seen. It began with the smell, something cloying, like roses left to rot in a closed room. It seemed to drift from upstairs at night. Then came the noise faint, scratching sounds behind the walls, like a mouse or a squirrel, but they didn't sound like any animal Elliot knew. They were too deliberate, rhythmic, almost desperate. The third week, he saw the figure. It was a Wednesday. The wind was loud, shaking the window. Elliot was at his desk, grading papers from the remote folklore course. He still taught online. When he looked up, she was there standing halfway up the staircase. A goo, young, barefoot. Her dress was from another time calico and frayed, soaked at the hem, as if she had just walked from a river. Her face was pale, unmoving. Her eyes were wrong, not empty, but wide, with a kind of ancient pleading. Her mouth was stitched shut with thread. Then she vanished. Elliot did not move. His heart pounded in his chest like a war drum. He whispered aloud, without meaning to. "You're real." And far off, in the walls, something replied. A whisper. "He swear," it said. "Don't let him in. He found it by accident." The attic had been sealed shut by 4 thick nails, but curiosity and academia were his twin curses. The book lay beneath a floorboard, wrapped in oiled cloth, tied with twine. It smelled like mildew and ash. The journal belonged to Eliza Millerage. 13. She had lived in a house in 1872. Her entries began, like any girl else, talking about the weather, her mother's bread, a lost cat, but as the pages wore on, the tone darkened. Father is not father anymore. He comes home and stares at the walls, whispering to someone I cannot see. At night I hear a man laughing from beneath the floorboards. Mama weeps when I ask about him. She tells me to never answer when he calls. He came into my room. He was made of smoke and fireflies. His smile was wrong. He said he wore my father like a suit. The final entry was smeared with blood. If I do not sew my mouth shut, Pew will make me scream. And that is how he finds the door. Elliot read the whole thing. In one sitting, the silence afterward was so heavy it felt like a weight on his chest. The dreams began that night. A field of black trees, a well with no bottom, and a man a shape tool, and a thin, moving with spider-like grey. Poof. His face was a blank oval with a red smile drawn on it. Peach night. The figure came closer. Elliot began hearing the name. Morrow. Whispers in the dark. Scribbled on foggy windows. Echoed in the clicks of the old stove. Always. Morrow is coming. Please stop. He started losing time. Waking up in the woods. Behind the house. Finding his fingers smeared with mud. And symbols drawn in ash on the kitchen wall. He tried to record it all, documenting everything like a good academic, but the footage corrupted. The audio warbled, and his notes rewrote themselves. One line kept appearing, no matter what. He wears people like coats. The town avoided him now. Children whispered when he passed. The librarian refused to meet his eye. One night, desperate, Elliot confronted old Harlan Boone, the town historian. The old man had a faded eye and a twisted back. Peel, he only said. The Miller girl wasn't the first, and you won't be the last. Cold Hollow doesn't keep the dead quiet. It lets them feed. Then he lit himself on fire. Elliot fled the town, tried to return to Michigan, but the roads looped, signs vanished. Every highway exit curved back into Cold Hollow. The ghost girl appeared at every turn. Closer now, she no longer looked afraid. She looked ... determined. In his last recording, Elliot's voice is weak. He's not a ghost. He's the thing behind the ghosts. The original hunger. The mask behind the world. I opened the door, and now he wants to wear me, too. The screen flickered, and the second voice, smooth and awful, whispers through the static. Hello, little storyteller. A new man moved into the Miller house last month. His name is Dr. Elliot Granger, but he looks younger now. Straighter teeth, smoother skin. People say he doesn't blink much. Peach's folklore at the college. Charms the townsfolk. Holds bonfires. Sometimes, when he smiles, the corners of his mouth twitch too far, and sometimes late at night, from the old farmhouse, girl's voice can be heard whispering in the dark. He's wearing the wrong skin.